Introducing our new redesigned 6 News mobile app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications.
We're going to hear from the Finding Family segment here now on Mondays, like we always do here on the Daily Digital Debrief. And this week, we're introducing you to 12-year-old Elijah. And just like me, Elijah is a huge Hoops fan. Those who know him describe him as a sweet, loving, and bubbly and caring person. So without further ado, let's go ahead and meet Elijah.
This is Elijah. He is 11 years old. He's in the 4th grade.
I like scary movies because how spooky they are. I love rap music. I like the beat and the way how they rap. I like football and I really want to play on a team. I would want to be a quarterback. I like going to school because I can learn new things. Yeah, I like making friends and get along with people. I want to be a police officer because I can protect people. I want to have fun with my family and watching some scary movies and going to fun outings and playing with toys together and video games and watch football games. And I really want a pet. I want a pet dog. And I'm really creative and smart. And sometimes I'm funny and kind. And sometimes I show a lot of respect and using my manners. I would like to have a good family.
Sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video, and a red light alert badge notifies you when we're streaming. Download or update our new local news app today, 6 News.
Welcome back. Mondays are for moms here at TV6, and this evening we're here for you with tips to save some money while feeding your family. You've probably noticed food prices are creeping up at the grocery stores and restaurants too. The Consumer Price Index shows food prices have increased almost 8% since last year. So I recently spoke to Nancy Yen for some money-saving tips. She's the founder of Omigo, a company that offers unique food storage options. Her first tip: shop local to save on gas and take advantage of farmers markets.
At farmers markets, organic produce is often way cheaper than it is in conventional grocery stores, particularly when your farmer has had a bumper crop. So our local strawberry farmer often sells organic strawberries by the flat for under $15, and that is such a great deal.
I don't know about your family, but when I make meals, most times I decide the meat first and then kind of work around that. But Nancy says try going vegetarian a few times a week to save money on meat costs. If that won't work for your family, another tip: take a break on buying like chicken breasts and steak, for example, which could run you 10 to 20 bucks a pound, and shoot for other parts of the animal.
Cheaper cuts of meat, maybe like chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks, or even just any type of ground meat, ground beef, turkey, chicken, it's gonna be way less. It's gonna cost anywhere between like $3 to $6 a pound.
And one way to really keep more money in your pocket is by planning ahead and packing lunches for the kids and adults in the family who leave home during the day. That way you can avoid having to buy food on the lunch break altogether.
So as a mom, it's more important to me than ever to pack lunch for my family, because eating out could set you back as much as $15 or $20, and that's just way out of our budget.
If you plan to start packing lunches more often, you'll probably want to invest in some containers, and that's where Nancy Ann's company could help you out with her Omigos. They're stackable, spill-proof food storage containers, and they lock on to each other. That way you don't even need to put them in a lunch bag or anything. You can just toss them right into your purse or backpack, for example. If you're interested in learning more about Omigos, I put a link under the Scene on 6 section of our website, WLNS.com. Coming up on
Introducing our new redesigned 6 News mobile app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. Introducing our new redesigned 6 News mobile app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video, and a red light alert badge notifies you when we're streaming. Download or update our new local news app today. 6 News, here for you.
Imagine spending your entire life believing someone is your biological father, but in fact, the man who fathered you has several kids because of his medical work. That's exactly what happened to a woman in Michigan. A couple of years ago, she found out the man she called dad wasn't her biological father.
My mom and dad, they were married and tried for 8 years to have children.
Jamie Hull's parents tried to have kids for years with no luck, so her mother decided to see a fertility specialist.
My mother was told that if she went to this doctor, that she had heard that he was helping women that were unable to have children.
That doctor was Dr. Philip Peven, who was her mom's gynecologist in the 1950s. Jamie says he abused his power as a doctor for years.
Which is such a break of trust, a break of everything that you can think of ethically.
Hull never thought anything of her upbringing, but turns out her father was keeping a secret from her. She was a product of artificial insemination.
My sister and I were like, that's kind of unbelievable that she would say that. So we went to my mother, of course, and my mother was just appalled. And she just said, why would she say something awful like that? Why would she do that? And I'm like, I don't know, is it true? And she's like, of course not.
Hull needed answers and opted for a paternity test.
And they both came back 100% that he wasn't our biological father.
Then she went back to her mom for more answers.
She said, okay, well, I went to this doctor, and this doctor told me that, your dad had slow swimmers and that there's a procedure that could help. And this procedure involved, she said, with maybe donating a sperm from somebody, and that if they did those together, that it could help your dad.
The procedure worked, and Hull's mom got pregnant.
I look up this doctor that was helping my mother, supposedly. Now, he's a doctor, and at the time he was helping a lot of women.
Hull decided to do a DNA test and was immediately alarmed at the results.
I'm seeing half-siblings, and I'm seeing just a bunch of things on there that I didn't understand. But there was one name that was managing one of the accounts, and it was the only name that I recognized. And as soon as I saw it, it said Peven, and it was as a manager. And I just looked up at my husband. I said, I know who my biological father is.
After she got over the initial shock, she visited Dr. Peven in person. He's 105 years old, living in Southfield. Surprisingly, she says she doesn't hold a grudge.
So I said, well, we want to thank you for delivering us. And said, and we also want to thank you because I understand that, you also fathered us. And it was a long silence. And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, my mom was not able to have children with my father. And according to everything that I've done and with DNA testing, you're my biological father.
Peven even owned up to throwing away the sperm her parents provided for the fertility procedure.
He said, well, because I needed to know that it was viable. He said, and there was timing on these things and cycles. And so I just needed to know that it was viable.
In the 1950s, anonymous sperm donations were allowed. Now, that's not the case. Hall reached out to a national nonprofit called Right to Know. It helps people who made recent discoveries with their genetics by providing education, mental health resources, and legal help.
We started working in Michigan because of Dr. Peven's and because of Jamie, who is the product of Dr. Peven's. And we worked with her to go ahead and her Representative Roth, to propose legislation to make broad-based fertility fraud a crime. There's no crime broken when a man, without permission of his patient, a doctor, uses his own sperm and inserts it into his patient and creates a child from that.
Kara Rubenstein-Dyerin is the co-founder of Right to Know. She helped write a few bills which are still being reviewed. What they said is,
number one, to include broad-based fraud. The second important aspect is to make sure that there's a sufficient statute of limitations.
For Hall, this entire journey has been a roller coaster.
I've always been raised that, who you are is not necessarily determined by your DNA, the person you are, the way you treat other people. And, but having his DNA, it's a whole new thing. You look in the mirror, you say, man, I wonder, do I look like his mom?
The package of bills is on its way to the Michigan House Judiciary Committee for review. If you would like to learn more, then head to the article below. Here for you in studio, Samana Sheikh, 6 News.
This is 6 News Now. We will begin in 60 seconds. Six News Now will begin in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. 6 News Now will begin shortly.